Yeah, one of the things we talked to the team about is that, last season is last season, and, none of those wins carry over to this year. This is a whole different dynamic. It's a different culture, different leadership group. We've made some tweaks to the offense, to the defense, to the special teams. So things, they don't stay the same. For our guys, they've got to understand that as good as last year was, that has no bearing or very limited bearing on what's going on this season. Certainly, you're coming into the season maybe with more confidence and understanding what you can do as a team, as a unit, and how good you can possibly be. Certainly, that always helps, but none of that is going to help us. That's not going to give us any more points on the board as we go into this season. So it's all focusing on the next 200 feet, on what's next, what's the next objective for us, and not looking past that, because when you do that, then you start to trip over yourself.
So last year's season was obviously very successful, and we're excited about that, but we brought in a bunch of great freshmen this year, and we're looking to build on things. One thing that we say is always take it day by day, and that's something that we plan to do, and we're going to continue to do that until we reach our goals. Yeah, so Coach I always talks about last year, that was last year's team, and this is this year's team. But those seniors from the year ago, those guys set the standard, and the seniors before them set the standard, and so on and so forth. So we always just try to take what we had last year, and then Brian Kane said, if it's not broke, break it. So that's a big thing that we're going with this year. So obviously we went to the Elite Eight last year, and if it's not broke, break it, see how we did it, and see where we can fix and kind of push forward and get to that next step.
Yeah, I think we have a very unique set of captains this year. Grant's much more vocal guy. I'm kind of the hybrid between the vocal and the lead by example kind of guy, and Mark's kind of the same way. But it's really nice having Grant get everyone fired up, and it helps me to be able to chime in whenever I need to, and Mark the same way.
I think it's such a humbling experience for all three of us. We're guys that really pride ourselves on hard work, and talent comes with that, So one thing that we say is talent without hard work can't get you to the place that you want to get to, but that hard work with talent can bring you anywhere you want. So that's something that we really believe in. So hard work before talent.
Coach I always harps on having a leader in every locker, and me, John, and Mark, we take that to heart. We think everyone in the program is a leader, and while we're always vocal, we always try to get there early, but every single guy's a leader. Anybody could go out there and lead on our team. That's just the character of our guys in our program, and I think that's what separates us from a lot of other people, other teams and everything. But we're always just excited to be out there playing football.
I think when you look at the three individuals, the three young men there, they all have three different stories of how they've come to the point of being a captain and being a leader here at RPI. And you've got Mark Meislon, who's a fifth-year guy who chose to come back for that fifth year after an injury, and he was a guy that starting his career was a late arrival to football camp. So he worked his way up through the ranks and developed himself as a football player. John Sadak was a guy that played some on scout team his freshman year, and he worked himself into being one of the best linebackers in the conference. And Grant Tragney, he made his living from day one was on special teams. And really embraced that role and knew, hey, that was a chance for me to get on the field. So that's how he's impacted the game. And I think just from their examples, our young guys, they can look at that and say, hey, there's no one road to being a leader, to being the guy that's getting playing time. All of these guys have taken different paths to get to where they are.
Yeah, just got to trust the process. Like, everyone was a big fish in a small pond in high school, and then you come to college and everyone was that big fish. Now everyone was on their all-star team. Everyone was all county and everything. So it's very humbling in the beginning, and some people, it's a learning curve. In the beginning, it's, I should be playing more. I don't know, I'm not on the field, but you just got to trust the process and go on War Dogs. If you're on War Dogs, give it your all every day, and just keep grinding, keep waking up at 5 a.m., getting ready for those 6 a.m. lifts, and just have fun with it, and it's going to all pay off.
Well, I think it starts with the coaches and how they recruit. We have a lot of talent on offense, a lot of talent on defense. We got a lot of returners on offense, which is really nice to see. A lot of guys coming back from injury. Defense, we're pretty solid. We got a lot of people coming back, a lot of people with a lot of experience. It's really exciting when you get kind of all three phases to be in a good place where if an offense, they have a bad play, turnover, something like that, defense can help step up. Defense might give up a touchdown. We can rely on our offense to get a touchdown.
I think one of the things that's really helped us is our recruiting, is being able to recruit quality recruiting classes year in, year out, and really developing those guys. My hat's off to Sergio and Justin in the weight room for helping develop those guys and bring them along. And you can see where guys start making impacts, their sophomore and junior years, being in the system, not changing things up too much. But if we're tweaking it and getting better. So the ability on offense to have somewhere around 14, 15 guys carry the football for you, and, about 15 guys getting touches in the passing game as well. That distributes the ball around to a lot of guys, gets a lot of guys involved. And it's the same thing on defense. I know Jack, he had a ton of tackles last year. I think the highest tackle total since '86 with Mark Clark. But then you had other guys. You had John was in the 90s, and then the other guys in the 80s and 70s, and those tackles are being distributed around throughout the defense as well. So when you have a lot of guys that can get into the game, can perform at a high level, it helps kind of supplement that depth as you go through a long season.
So one thing that stands out is just the culture of the team and the coaching staff as well. They always put us in the best place to win a game, the best position to win a game, and we're really excited to take that into this year, bring back most of the coaching staff, along with a couple new guys that are going to help us out a lot.
Oh, well, they're such hardworking guys, and it starts with them. They're putting in the hours behind the scenes, late nights. I know Dittman always tells me that he never sleeps before games, and I actually believe that. But it really helps us to be in the right spots during the game. They're always trying to help us out wherever they see like a weakness in our team, they'll nip in the bud right away. And it really helps out the young guys, especially to really get through the ranks and really become an RPI football player.
We're not guys that are trying to put up the best stats. We're out there for the guy next to us. And that's something that is really shines through the culture of this team.
It's a team first mentality. It's we above me, and our guys know that, and that's part of our culture, and we preach that every single day. As a receiver, you might not get targeted, but 2 or 3 times during a game. So if you're getting targeted, well, I better catch the ball if I'm getting targeted, that limited amount of times. But I still have an impact in the game by blocking on the perimeter. So if I have success blocking, first of all, that's going to keep me in the game. Second of all, that's going to lend to running success, to passing success as well. So our guys know that they're competing for the team. They know that on defense, and they know that on offense as well, that it's got to be the team first. You're very rarely are you going to see a 1,000-yard rusher or a 1,000-yard receiver, unfortunately, in our league, that a guy might not get all league recognition because his numbers aren't at a certain level. But if we have 5 or 6 guys that are right there, right in that heart of the league leaders, then we're doing something right. And our guys know that they'll put personal accomplishments, they'll put that aside if it's the team that's getting all the accolades.
We have so much depth, and that's something that's really important as well, especially offensively, and also on the defensive side of the ball too. So what we're trying to do is get as many fresh legs as we can into the game, and that's going to put us in the best position to win games.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, we're seeing the best competition we'll see every single day in practice. They're always pushing us to get better. We're always trying to push them to get better. We're very competitive. Obviously, we treat everything like a game situation. So if the offense gets a really good play, as a defense, we got to step up, and vice versa. It brings out the competitive nature. It really brings out the best in all of us.
It's about the senior class. We've got 18 seniors that are coming back for us. We had 24 seniors that graduated for us last year. And these guys are making a significant impact on the field, each and every one of them. And it's about the legacy that they want to leave. Not only the legacy on the football field with the quality of play and how you play and how you go about your business, but it's also about the culture that you're building and how you pass that down from one team to the next. So you want to be known as the team, as the leaders that are making their mark on this program in a positive way. So they're bringing along the young guys, teaching them the culture and teaching them what we're all about, and it's never straying from that goal.
We like to reverse engineer, so it's like set with a big goal in mind and then work your way backwards. So our big goal is the national championship, and then from there you reverse engineer and say, how do you do that? You got to practice on Thanksgiving. From there you got to win your league. From there you got to go back and forth all the way back to the beginning of just looking forward to the next 200 feet. The next 200 feet for me right now is waking up tomorrow morning, go to lift. And then from there it's meetings. And just keep setting small goals, do a little, a lot, not a lot, a little, and just keep, all right, I got this checkpoint. And if you keep knocking down those checkpoints, it's all going to take care of itself.
Yeah, so I mean, we have that kind of next play mentality. So we don't like looking too far ahead. Right now, all our focus is on Allegheny. We're not looking down 7 weeks down the road, 8 weeks down the road. We're solely focused on Allegheny because we know that's the next step. That's the next boulder we have to climb. And it's really great that Coach I really instills that in us, that we're not worried about what's going to happen in the future. We're not worried about making the playoffs or anything like that. We're just worried about winning the day, winning the play, and focusing on our first week opponent.